Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Girls Lounge with your hosts, Liz and KT. We are here recording for you guys, and today we have an episode that honestly, I'm kind of surprised that we were able to do. We're going to be doing a book recap. And if you know anything about me and Kennedy, and if you've been a good podcast listener, we've been going through it when it comes to books, but we still have a recap, It wasn't like that the entire year. But before we get into that, we're going to talk about what we've been up to. So, Kennedy, why don't you get us started?
So basically, last week, since we've talked, honestly, I didn't do much until the weekend. And I was with Liz and the rest of our friends all weekend. Yay! No, I was playing. It was actually a really fun weekend. So Friday at 7 p.m., yes, 7 p.m. was one of our friends Ari's graduation. So we drove to Louisville, we carpooled whatever, picked up our other friend Kelsey, and we attended the graduation. We almost died at one point leaving the graduation, but I'll let Liz tell that story. Honestly, the graduation was eventful. The D9s, they were showing out, but the one annoying thing was there's this group of guys behind us, and they were so annoying. They were literally commentating the whole time. I was like, are they ever gonna shut up? And when it was like their person's turn, whoever it was, to cross the stage, like, of course you're gonna yell, but they yelled too long. Like, I think whoever was saying the name said like 2 or 3 names after their person, and they was still cheering. I was like, okay, y'all, we can cut it. And then what did we? Oh, and then we went up to Northern Kentucky to see, Elizabeth graduate for Saturday. What a good day. Y'all, I almost started crying after Elizabeth graduated because I saw her crying and like her family crying, and all of us, like all of our friends, because it's like her family and then us, like we all turned around because we couldn't watch her. We would start crying. We ate some good food, had some Olive Garden, and we went out. Oh, and then Sunday we had the Kendra Scott Day. So it was really fun, and I'll let Liz explain more from her POV and more details.
So basically did the same thing Kennedy did, but I'll give y'all like the other side of it. So Friday, the little almost died moment. So we were at this arena was where the graduation was at. And afterwards, so we were like on the second level, and everybody afterwards started heading towards the first level. And to get to the first level, you can either take escalators or the stairs. Honestly, I might be to blame because I'm the one who was like, let's just go on the escalators, because I feel like the stairs weren't moving. We went down the escalator, and so we're going down the escalator, and there's this like big group of just mob. It's not even a group, it's a mob of people just everywhere on the first floor, And then Kennedy even called it. She was like, I really hope these people start moving, because they're all just kind of standing in the way. Like, you get off the escalator and they just stood. And if you know anything about an escalator, at least these kind of escalators, they're not the ones that stop. So we kept on going down, and we made it to the bottom, where the escalator steps are gone, and the people just weren't moving. We had to like push kind of like out the way, but I really thought that like one person falls, then it's going to be a domino effect. Everyone was going to be down. But luckily that didn't happen. It was definitely like mob. I thought it was going to be like one of those, what was it, Travis Scott? This concert where everybody got like the stampede and everything, that's kind of what it was giving. And then Saturday, I graduated. I'm still like processing, I guess. Like in my head, it's not real. I swear when I walked across the stage though, I blacked out. I like didn't actually black out, but like in my head I did. I don't remember like anything, don't remember the screams. But yeah, I walked across the stage. Technically I'm not done with school because like I'm studying abroad next semester, but to the outside world, I'm done. That's basically what happened. Oh, and then Sunday, we went to Kendra Scott and we got little matching bracelets. We've been wanting to do this for a minute, and it finally made it out the group chat. So that's exciting.
Oh my gosh, yes, we did, and they were so cute. I can't wait to wear them. I already like put them on to like I showed both my parents, like, look how pretty. And the last time we all went to Kinder Scott together, I got a necklace, and so the color that I got my necklace in, like the stone, I got the same with my bracelet. It looks so good, and now I'm like, I need to go back and get this bracelet in more colors. Like, I was deciding between that blue color and then my birthstone, so I think I want to get that same bracelet, but also my birthstone, because I think that would look good together, like that blue and that green. I don't know. The lady who was helping us was like, oh, like the green's very iffy, but I liked it. I feel like I do like some of those different colors, and I feel like it would stand out against, darker skin. So I really liked it. And why we were at Kendra Scott's because our friend Kelsey won like a party there for her birthday. It was really cool. Like we had macaroons, brownies, champagne. So it was a cute little vibe back there. And the lady who was helping us was like really chill, really funny. And she was really hooking us up with some deals. Like originally we were just supposed to get like 15% off, but she bumped it up to 20. And she was just being a gem, being so nice because we were like, can we look at this? Can we look at this? Can we look at this? Because like some of us also bought like presents for like our mothers. I think me and Jill did. I don't think Liz and Kelsey did, but I bought my mom a Christmas gift. And then also I forgot to say that we also went out on Saturday night in Cincy. And it was definitely interesting because for some reason, none of us just like checked the weather forecast. So it was very much pouring rain, but we walked outside and of course we didn't have coats on. We went out in Cincy. We first had to stop at Insomnia Cookie. One of our Ubers there was like really lit though. Like he had like the flashing lights, the music was bumping. It was like a good like pre-game before you go out. So I really liked it. We was at Mr. Pitiful, not no, Mr. Pitful, something like that in Cincy, and that was like really fun. The other places we went to like wasn't really the vibe, but that one it ate. Like we really could have stayed there all night. We basically did. But for sure, if you go back to Cincy, we for sure need to go back to there. We did have some difficulties coming back to Elizabeth Store, but you know, we survived a bonding experience.
Yeah, we kind of like got locked out and we just like outside for a second and then, but we ended up getting back in. So that's all that matters. But also Sunday, so there's this like running joke that me and my friends have. It's our friend Jill. She's always entering giveaways, right? Like whenever she comments, she like tags you on Instagram. It's because she entered some giveaway. And then as you all know, Kennedy won the Gray Bandit giveaway and then Kelsey be winning some stuff. And I be winning nothing, I swear. I be entering stuff, nothing, no luck. And at Kendra Scott, it was like we were able to put our names in this little thing and for a little raffle, and whoever's name was taken out was gonna like get a free thing from the color bar. And before we put the names in, I had looked at this necklace and it's like a little like choker, but you can also like loosen it, and it had like little hearts. It was just really cute. It was gold, like everyday necklace. And I thought about getting it and I was gonna get it, but it wasn't included with our 25% off. So I was like, oh, I'll just hold off on it. And then she did the drawing and my name got like pulled and I was like, oh my gosh. The lady, like Kennedy said, she was really cool and she actually let me like use the necklace that I wanted to as my free item. So I ended up getting the necklace. The luck has spread to me finally.
Yes, and you know, her luck is all due to all three of us being there. Because before she did the raffle, I was like, Liz, I hope you win. But at the same time, I hope it's me as well. And then Kelsey was like, it was funny because it was like, you're here because of me. I was like, period. Jill and Liz, they like this. So, we got that bestie energy. So, Liz should thank me, Jill, and Kelsey for her raffle win.
I'll give you the thanks. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, and something very tragic happened this weekend, but I think things are looking up, I will say. And I know I do not see Liz over there laughing. Like, Liz been laughing at my downfalls this whole weekend. So basically, as you guys know, I have a little digital camera. I love taking pictures. I love taking videos. And let's just say your girl accidentally deleted everything. Mind you. Okay, I will say I'm not like too upset because like I have 2 SD cards and the one I have in is more of like a newer one, so it doesn't have a bunch of stuff from like the very beginning from when I had my card. But like this card, it has like a bunch of memories from like my 21st birthday, my mom's 51st birthday, and just like Thanksgiving, some girl trip things, and then like this whole weekend. And I deleted that right before we went out. Bruh, you guys, I'm so upset. And I literally just took pictures of Elizabeth too for her graduating in front of like her college sign, and they look so cute. And I got my boots muddy for those pictures, you guys. And I was just so upset because it was just like one of those things where just like they make it too easy for you to delete things. Because it was just like I was looking real quick to see what storage I have left on my camera because I assumed, I was bringing my camera with me. We're gonna be taking lots of pictures, videos, and one wrong click because I wasn't really paying attention that much, I accidentally deleted everything. It is actually insane how quick it just deletes. But thankfully, I looked it up right away, and the way that I deleted it, I found out I would be able to get it back and update as of today. I do technically have the files, but the one thing I use it was asking for way too much money for me to like download it back, which I think is actually insane. Like, why are you taking advantage of me at my lowest? Okay. Like, it was super expensive. So me and my mom are gonna try another way to get the pictures back, but like pictures and videos. So technically, like, I do have them, like they have been recovered. I just don't have them downloaded yet. So I'm like happy about that. I feel like that's why I'm not as like freaked out about it. I just like want my stuff though. And so hopefully, I can still make a vlog, get Elizabeth's pictures to her, but I was really upset about that. And for the future, the next time I check my storage on the SD card, I'm gonna be extra, extra, extra careful.
No, because Canon having that option is sick for that. I feel like they should have like a, are you sure you want to do this? Like confirm, like on Apple when you delete stuff. They set you up, Kennedy.
No, I agree.
And now we're gonna get into our favorites of the week. And for me, my favorite of the week honestly was just this whole weekend, just hanging out with everyone, my family, like all of my friends, all of us together. We got to go out to eat after my graduation, so it was just like all of us together, just really good vibes. But something physical that is my favorite of the week, I think, is getting my nails done. My mom actually, we went to go get them done with my grandmother before we went on this little like girls' weekend or whatever. And I got like a Christmas red. I got little bows on them, and I haven't got my nails done in the longest time. Ever since I got like things to do them at home, I've been doing it myself, and I will say something just hits different about having them freshly done. So that's my favorite of the week.
I desperately need to get my nails done. And I do like that nail place that you went to. But my favorite is headbands. So honestly, besides this weekend, have I had any good days? I don't know. I had a hair crisis, y'all. You see my hair? Let's just say I've like grown to liking it on me, but this is not what I had in mind when I went into the hair salon. And like I even showed my friends the inspo pictures that I sent to my hairstylist, but it was lost in translation. So let's just say she just braided it far too back, so I feel like I have to wear a headband to like give my face, my hair some character, some oomph, since it's not exactly what I wanted. So headbands have been coming in clutch because I feel like that's the only way I've been able to step out the house since I got this hairstyle. But it's fine. Like I said, it's growing on me. I'm like, it's whatever. I feel like this weekend was exposure there because I really didn't have time to think about, oh, what can I do? Girl, you just gotta do it and embrace it. And yeah, and it was good to have like, everyone validate on what I was feeling and tell me that I didn't look that bad when I had like a headband, earrings, and was dressed up and like taking pictures. I was like, oh wait, like I actually doesn't look that bad at some angles. But yeah, headbands, me and you, we like this.
Another favorite of my week was watching Kennedy's story when she had her hair crisis. Oh my gosh. Like, I sympathize for Kennedy. I expressed my concerns too. I told, I did my friend support, but also my other side of the friend support is laughing too. And it's not laughing at Kennedy. It was the way she was reacting and the stuff she was saying. You guys, like the next day, I went back to Snapchat to look at her story just for a good little laugh, and it was gone. Let's just say her reaction was everything.
Let's just say the first thing I thought in my head when the stylist showed me my hair was like, I look like I'm straight out of jail. Yeah. And honestly, Liz, I might just have to send you that video as a Christmas gift.
Yes, thank you. It will be watched multiple times. Whenever I miss you, I'll just look at that video.
You're welcome. And now we're going to get into our pop culture and trending topics. Again, not a lot happened this week. The girlies have been, keeping it cute, but not everyone. So first, good sweet Matilda Djerf. She has gotten exposed. At first, I didn't really believe it. I like saw a bunch of TikToks about the situation, and then I like started getting clips from the actual source. So basically, some old employees of Matilda have came out on Swedish network television, like the news over there, and basically said that she was like the worst boss ever. Like they had to get like essentially like therapy after working for her. Like she was very rude. She would always yell at them, which is crazy because honestly, I was never a big like Matilda Djerf person. Obviously, I was aware of her. I thought some of the things from her business, Djerf Avenue, was really cute. Like we all have seen those fruit pajamas, like so cute. Just like her whole vibe, that like that Scandinavian, like sleek, cool girl vibe. And like, she was famous for like her flowy hair, and she just always seems so like nice and just like that businessy EO girl, and like just to have all this stuff come out was actually insane, because like she just does not seem that way at all. And apparently I think there's been some older reviews from like before even that stuff came out of like people being like, yeah, do not work here, like it's not a good place. And that's just all been crazy, especially because her collab with Rode just came out, and I'm pretty sure they took it off their site. Apparently like she was like, only I can use this bathroom that they have in like their office. I think someone accidentally used it because the sign fell off the door that says like please do not use, and she like made them scrub it before she would use it again, which I think is actually insane.
No, because I had like seen the other side of it of like people just stopped wearing her stuff or were like, dang, all that money I spent on these robes and pajamas. But I'd never like looked into like why it was this was happening, and that's crazy. Honestly, I feel like it's the people you least be expecting it, because I feel like her brand and just like her as a person gave very like not, I don't know, like clean vibes, obviously, but also just like really put together. I feel like someone that would know, like, obviously not to do this. And then for the people to be going to like therapy, that's how you know like it was bad. Like it wasn't just like I hate my job, it was like I hate my job at another level. But yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people like, oh, I don't know what to do with these like pajamas anymore, like these robes. I will say I still think it's really cute and everything.
I mean, if they want to sell it at a discounted price, I'll buy them. Like, I know she's canceled, but like, I'll buy them. But yeah, and also it's kind of crazy because I feel like in this situation, the people who project a nice persona are always the ones that are like the meanest behind closed doors. And then the people who people have a lot more criticism about end up being like the nicest people.
Yes, it really is always that way. Like, let me just keep my eyes out on some of these brands because I feel like they be having it together, and behind the scenes, they obviously don't. But like, also, Kennedy, yeah, me too. Like, if they want to sell them discounted, just like send it our way. Because I've heard like the robes and the pajamas are like really like comfy quality and everything. People like actually enjoy wearing them. So I'm like, I'm trying to experience that.
No, for real. And I'm like, they better be good quality with that price. Literally over $100.
And our next little pop culture topic is the Brianna Chicken Fry drama. Continued, I guess. I think we talked about this in one of our last episodes where like Brianna and Zach Bryan, they like broke up and all that kind of stuff. The continuation of the drama has nothing to do with Zach really, but more so like Brianna and her best friend Grace, they're not friends anymore. And Brianna like flat out like said it and talked about it and everything, you know. Kennedy, you got more to add?
Yeah, so I will say I haven't like watched the exact podcast clips where Brianna was talking about it, but I've seen like bits and pieces from like TikTok and just seeing influencers that I follow talk about it. So that's where I've gotten my information. So basically, from what I gather, the timeline is, so I know she went on Alex Earl's podcast, Hot Mess, and she talked about, you know, the breakup with Zach Bryan and just like how it was a very abusive relationship. At this moment, I can't remember if she mentioned Grace in that episode at all. Within the same week, a BFS episode also released, and that's when, you know, she kind of, you know, spoke more about her and Grace's situation. And she basically was saying that, you know, Grace never stood up for her, and that, you know, kind of Grace was essentially a bad friend. Kind of like before this too, which I didn't even realize this happened until I saw, you know, Brianna talking on the podcast, is that people were messaging Brianna because basically, well, I guess I should have said this before, but Plan Brie, which is what Grace and Brianna were on together. Well, Brianna brought Grace on. Brianna actually had this podcast for a while, and then she brought Grace on. But I'm pretty sure it's ending, and Brianna wants to continue it in a different way. And Grace just knew that it was ending, but she wasn't aware that it was that Brianna had a plan for it to go another direction. And so when Grace released a statement about it, she was saying she was blindsided by Brianna's statement, and, you know, that she was grateful for all these years, but a lot of people were like, oh, like Grace feels blindsided, like, and I guess that's saying more hate Grace's way. And so she just been getting a lot of hate. So she was like, so Brianna was like, you know, Grace hasn't been sticking up for me. I guess because of that story situation, people were messaging Brianna being like, it's not cool that you blindsided her. And then basically Grace was like, or Brianna was messaging them back being like, Grace is actually mean in real life. Why do you think everyone's unfollowed her? She's not the good person that y'all think she is. Things along that line. And I don't think as of today, she's even addressed that. And then so mixed with that, and then what she said on the podcast, it just has been a whole mess. I don't know why I did that. It has been a whole mess, so much drama. And honestly, in my opinion, I feel like Brianna is so wrong in this situation. Like, I would never go on the internet and dog my friend out like that, or supposed friend. And like, they've been friends since childhood. So like, to be talking about them to like y'all's fans in the DM and just kind of like bashing her and just spreading a hateful narrative is not cool. I will say I can see how Brianna could view it from her point of view, because she's still in that mindset of like, she's the victim. You know, she just was in a very abusive relationship. And I guess I can speak for me and Liz with being in a similar situation with having a friend that's not in the best relationship. Things can, kind of, those type of things can really affect a friendship. You know, your friend can see that you're not being supportive of them in the moment, but at the same time, it's hard being a friend of someone who's in that toxic relationship. And so I can see both sides to it, but I really think Brianna is really gonna regret. She's really gonna regret. Oh my god, I'm speaking like Kelsey, you guys. She's really gonna regret how this all played out once, she's had some time to like heal and have space and time from the situation.
I'm on the same page as you, Kennedy. I think especially just like the way she went about it, like completely like blindsided her and everything. I think it's kind of like low key kind of hypocritical, because I feel like that's what happened with her with Zach, where she was completely blindsided by the breakup and everything. And I know it's like, obviously it's not, I mean, to us, from what we know, it's not like the same level, but like still, she basically did the same thing to Grace, just blindsided her and dipped and everything. Especially because I think it's different since they were making an income together. Like they were basically, yes, they're friends with their coworkers because they had that podcast. And for her to continue the podcast and basically just without her, like it's rebranded because Grace isn't in it anymore. I think it's definitely like she could have gone about it different ways if she did want to like cut her out, if she was like not a good friend or whatever it is. She definitely went about it the wrong way.
Yeah, and then I've also seen people say how like they think Zach Bryan might have planted some seeds in Brianna's head about Grace during their relationship, because Brianna also basically was implying that like Grace wouldn't be nowhere without Brianna, which I feel like is kind of messed up. Like I hate when people do stuff for you and then kind of like use it against you when you're like not doing what they want you to do. And then I hate how she like was like, well, Grace has never had a boyfriend, as in a way to say like Grace doesn't even understand like what I've been going through with the whole Zach Bryan information. And as someone who also has had that used against me, it's just so annoying, because it's like people made the good point where it's like, okay, Grace has never been in a relationship, but Brianna, you have never not been in a relationship. So it's like, really, who knows better? Like, you guys, it just doesn't make sense why you would use that type of stuff against someone.
Yes, and especially if like you're as good friends as like you all claim to be, and then to have that like thrown at you, I feel like no matter like what happens, even if you were good friends at some point, there's no reason for you to go and like talk bad about the person, like all that kind of stuff. Like it just doesn't make sense.
I agree. I'll be interested to see if any other clips come out about Brianna talking about this. I know at Barstool, which, girl, Barstool's like a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother conversation. But like, I think like the culture there might be very much team Bree, at least with Dave and Josh. But there's a lot of people that are also like team Grace. And I think there's some girl who was like on BFFs in the beginning, who doesn't work there anymore, was kind of throwing shade at Brianna recently and was like, yeah, Grace has always been nice to me. So, who knows? I feel like I'm low-key team Grace. But, we just talking about how Matilda was really a mean girl behind the scenes. So who knows if that's the case here. But I'm interested to see what comes out within the next couple of days.
And with that, we're gonna go ahead and get into our what we are watching. I'll get us started. So, if you guys are looking for a movie, I have a recommendation for you. So last night with my family, we watched this new movie on Netflix. It's called Carry On. It's one of those like, is it a Christmas movie or is it not a Christmas movie type? It's like Christmas set in Christmas, but it's more like an action movie. And when I tell you guys, this is like the first movie in a long time to have us like all hooked to it. Normally, like me and my family, we all have like different like taste in movies. So someone's always like either asleep on their phone, they're just not vibing. But like all of us were hooked to the screen. There was like some plot twists. It was just so much was going on. There was like the moment when everything comes like full circle. It was a really good movie. Highly recommend if you're looking for like an action paced movie or just something to watch with your family or friends. Carry on Netflix. It was also different from like other plots, I feel like. So I really enjoyed it. And then I've also been watching, of course, Some Gilmore Girls. I like finished my finals and I started season 4, and somehow now I'm halfway through season 4. So I've been watching a lot of Gilmore Girls, and you know that's okay because I'm on break. And when I go abroad, I don't know if they're gonna have it on Netflix, so I need to finish it now. You know. So that's my two things that I've been watching this week.
You know, winter break is for catching up on all the TV shows and movies we didn't get to have time for during the semester. I've been on break for a while, so of course I've been watching a lot of movies. So I'm gonna go kind of fast. So first, I watched Our Little Christmas. It's a Netflix Christmas movie with Lindsay Lohan and the guy who played the teacher that Arya was in love with in Pretty Little Liars. Can't think of his name right now. Oh, Ezra. Yes. I think his real name is like Ian Harding, I think, but him. So it was a really cute movie. I actually really liked it. Basically, Lindsay Lohan's character and Ian's character, they are exes and they broke up, but then 10 years later, they are both dating two people who are in the same family, but they don't realize until they go with their spouse's family home for Christmas. And yeah, it was really good. I thought it was gonna be like really like kind of like cringy and stuff, which I guess like a little bit it was. But I thought it was like a really cute, very lighthearted, fun and Christmas movie. So I would really recommend. I feel like it's one of the better Netflix Christmas movies. And then I watched Uglies, which this came out a while ago, but I just now got around to it. I feel like it was like a pretty decent, okay movie. Definitely like a eye roll movie at times. And I feel like it didn't make sense that they had Joey King with the cutest guy in the movie, but that's okay. Basically it's this movie where the society makes you like become your perfect self at 16. But there's like a lot of people kind of like fighting against it. And if you're in like the perfect society, they try to make you think that the people who want to age naturally are like the bad people and that they want to like destroy everything. And then, you know, obviously like the normal people are like actually like the good guys. And so it's actually really interesting. It's a little science fiction movie. Chase Stokes is in it. Joey King, obviously. It was all right. And then I watched American Assassin, another movie that's been out for a while. It's that movie with Dylan O'Brien in it. So good. I was on my toes the whole time. It had a really good plot twist, or like multiple plot twists. So I really recommend it if you're into action movies. But I will say it is very, very, very gory, very violent. Obviously, there was one part that had to do with fingernails that I couldn't watch. If that tells you anything about it. And then the last movie that I watched recently, I would not recommend. It is Merry Gentlemen on Netflix, another Christmas movie. And usually I like cringy Christmas movies, but this one I was like, okay, this is stupid. Like I was not feeling it. It's the one with Chad Michael Murray in it, and I can't think of her name, but I know she used to date Dylan O'Brien. So it's his long-term ex, that girl. They're the two main characters in it, and I'm not even gonna explain it because don't watch it. It's not worth your time.
No, because something about like being on Christmas break and the equation to movies, very real, because I feel like this is the time when I'm watching all those movies instead of like all the TV shows I need to catch up on. Something about just like sitting there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, watching a good movie. It's just Christmas vibes all around.
Exactly. You get it. And now we're going to be getting into our song of the week. So mine is Sweetener by Ariana Grande. And now that I think about it, I can't remember if I've done this before in a previous song of the week, but I'm going to go ahead and play it anyways. Obviously, it's just that good if I did it twice, but I'm going to play my favorite part. Like, I don't know what Ariana put in that song, but it's literal crack. It is so good.
So my song of the week is a Taylor Swift song. It's A Place in This World, and this is like one of her first songs from her debut album. And for those of you guys who don't know, her Eras tour came to an end this past week, and this was one of the songs that she sang in her surprise songs mashup. And I honestly, that just unlocked like a core memory of this whole album and this song. And I feel like, I don't know, this song is hitting a lot more with like graduation, all that kind of stuff, full circle moment. So here's my favorite part of this song. And that is my song of the week.
Yep, that line exactly. I'm gonna need to listen to that song.
Something about, she just knew what was going on. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get into the topic of this episode, which is our book recap, end of the year book recap. Little backstory for those of you guys who are new listeners here. Me and Kennedy kind of started this podcast as a book podcast. Obviously not just books, but it was like books, social media, like everything we talk about, but just add books to it. Cause we were some book girlies, and that did start off, we actually used to have a book segment. And, you know, if you listened this far in the episode, you would know that segment doesn't exist anymore. We had kind of like when the fall semester started, we entered our book slumps. And those book slumps somewhat ended, but are still very much present. And, you know, there was just no point in having the book segment because there was literally no updates. But, anyways, we did still have some good reads this year. And because we had a slump, we didn't have so many book reads, you know. So we're gonna do a little end of the year book recap of all the books we read. Maybe this helps us get out of the slump, start out strong in 2025. Give you guys some recommendations too.
Yeah, what Liz said. Hopefully in the future we can get that segment back. But for now, I feel like our lives are just, there's a lot going on for us to really be in our book era like we were. But, we still have read a good amount of books where we could still make a whole episode about it. I think we're going to try to review them kind of like rapid fire. We're going to tell you like the name, the author, maybe the rating, and then give you like a quick sentence of our thoughts about it.
Yes. We can start off and just tell you guys how many books we did end up reading and what our goal was. Gonna be definitely something. So my book goal this year was 25 books. I read so far a whopping 12 books.
Honestly, I feel like that's not that bad.
It really isn't. And we need to like realize that it's okay, you know? We've read something. Some other people haven't read anything in years.
No, literally, at least we picked up a book. I'm like, honestly, our book slump year is probably better than some people's regular years. But for me, I've read 18 books. Now, I was feeling very ambitious because last year I also didn't do so great with my reading. So I was like, surely this year is the year. It wasn't. So I read 18 out of 50 books. Yeah, let's not talk about it. I'm 29 books ahead of schedule, so only got 36% through, but that's almost 50 in my book, so a win is a win.
You gotta take it, you know?
Exactly.
So the first book I read this year was when I was like really into the peak of reading. I was just really going through it, you know? But the first book I read was Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, and I gave it a 5 out of 5. I'll read you guys a sentence from like my review that really just embodies what I felt for this book. Only one word to put it: masterpiece. I would sell my soul to reread this book for the first time. That book was so good.
I forgot we were doing first sentence. I was like, oh, she ain't got more to say. Like, nah, girl, she don't. First book, very different than Liz. It was The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides. It was an interesting, weird, crazy book.
I can't tell if that's like interesting, weird, crazy in a good way or a bad way.
I don't know either.
My second book was, of course, Iron Flame, which is the second book after Fourth Wing. This book, my sentence would be, there's just so much I could say. I'll read you guys my review, which is one sentence again. Currently screaming, crying, throwing up, betrayed, and broken, in all caps. That's all I have to say. Oh, and I gave it 4 stars if I didn't say that.
Yeah, I forgot my rating for my other book. I didn't give it a rating. But my next book was Dead Poets Society. I gave it a 3.75. I'll just read my first sentence for my review because I feel like that sums it up pretty well. I personally enjoyed the movie more than the book, but I'm still glad I read it.
My third book of the year was The Brothers Hawthorne, which is the 4th book in like the Inheritance game series. My sentence would be, I forgot how much I love this world.
My next book was Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. It's the second book in the Part of Your World series. I gave it a 4 out of 5. And this book is cute, fluffy, with a little bit of spice and drama.
My next book is Ruthless Vows, which is the second book in the like Letters of Enchantment series, and I gave it 4 stars out of 5. And my one word would be slow and suspenseful.
My next book was The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I gave it a 3 out of 5. I'll just read my review because it was one sentence. Cute story, but I felt very indifferent towards it.
My next book was Six of Crows, and I gave it a 4 out of 5. And my sentence would be regret putting it off for as long as I did. And then like in terms of the book, more authors need to do POVs.
My next book was Twisted Love, which is the first book in the Twisted series by Anna Huang. I gave it a 3 out of 5. And my review, one sentence, so I'm just going to say that. I picked up this book because I wanted a entertaining, spicy read, and this was exactly that.
My next book was Crooked Kingdom. which is the one after Six of Crows, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 too. And my sentence would be more authors need to focus on character development, and I fell in love with these characters.
My next book was Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. I gave it a 1-star. I DNF'd it at 30%. My one sentence is don't read it.
So real. My next book is The Nanny by Lana Ferguson. I gave it a 3 out of 5. And my one sentence would be short, spicy, rom-com vibes.
My next book is Blindside by Candy Steiner. And I gave it a 4 out of 5. And my sentence would be, now this, emphasis on this, is how you write a fake dating college sports romance with the clapping emoji.
My next book was The Fake Mate. If you know, you know. It's by Lana Ferguson. I gave it a 2 out of 5. My sentence would be, sometimes we don't need to explore the werewolf realm of books. Just skip over this one.
No, because I was about to ask, is that the one with the tail in it?
That's the one. Oh, yeah. Let's not talk about it.
If you know, you know. My next book was Thank You for Listening by Julia Wellen. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was a really cute book and easy to get into.
My next book was Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, and I gave it a 4 out of 5. And I would say heartwarming romance, need more like this.
My next book was Magnolia Parks. This was actually a reread for me. I gave it a 4 stars, and my sentence would be, I liked it more the second time, and the drama was lit.
My next book was Powerless by Lauren Roberts, and I give it a 4 out of 5. And my one sentence would be, I need this in a TV show. Fantasy-esque tension, love triangle, need more of.
My next read was No Exit by Taylor Adams. I gave it a 2 out of 5 stars. My one sentence would be, honestly, wasn't that thrilling, pun intended, aka it's a thriller book.
Kennedy got jokes in her reviews. My next book was Reckless by Lauren Roberts, and I would say, what the heck was that ending? Of course, everything happens that I don't want to happen.
My next book was Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yaras. I gave it a 3.8 out of 5. I would say crazy ending, didn't wow me, but I still plan on reading the rest of this series.
Controversial, Kennedy. My next book and my last book so far of the year is Powerful by Lauren Roberts, and I gave it a 4 out of 5, and I would say cute little novella.
So I just have a couple more than Liz. My next book is Daisy Hates, which is book 2 in the Magnolia Park series. I gave it a 3.8 stars. I would say I was eating this book up in about the first half, but the characters were very insufferable at some points. My next book is In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. I gave it a 2 out of 5. It had me hooked, but it fell off after a certain point. My next one, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I gave it a 4.75. Wow, so good. It had me shook. Happy Place by Emily Henry. I gave it a 4 out of 5. And let's see, I'll basically just read my first sentence. It's a very long sentence of my review. Miss Emily Henry never misses. I was hesitant about the premise of the book, but the way she shows how long-term friendship changes over time, the different family dynamics, and how to choose happiness for yourself rather than others was absolutely perfection. My next book is the Happy Ever After playlist, which is the second book in the Friend Zone series by Abby Jimenez. I gave it a 4 out of 5, and my review was this book is so Wattpad coded. Another book I read was Good Girl, Bad Blood, which is the second book in the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. I gave it a 3.8 out of 5. I would say overall it was pretty good, but at some points it was kind of boring. The last book that I read this year, Done and Dusted, which is the first book in the Rebel Blue Rent series by Lila Sage. I gave it a 3 out of 5. It was all right. Not memorable, but it was cute. It did what it needed to do.
You know, I didn't realize like some of these books that I read, especially like the beginning of the year ones, were in this year. I felt like that was like a whole other year ago or something.
No, literally, I'm like, I forgot I read these books so long ago. I vividly remember reading them, but it feels so like years ago rather than literally in January.
Literally just puts into perspective how fast this year went. But next up, just to kind of like conclude the episode, we're gonna go over our year in books. So if you guys don't follow us on Goodreads, we'll add our Goodreads on the like show notes. But it's basically like Goodreads' version of like a Spotify Wrapped. And we're going to go over our little 2024 My Year in Books. So for me, my total number of pages that I read were 5,471 pages and a total of 12 books.
For my stats, I read 7,223 pages and read 18 books.
My shortest book that I read was Powerful by Lauren Roberts, and that was 272 pages total. And then my longest book was Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, and it was 640 pages. And I feel like that's the longest book I've written in general. Not written, I've read in general.
I was like, okay, per Elizabeth's an author. For me, the shortest book was The Dead Poets Society. It was 166 pages. And my longest book was the same as Liz, Fourth Wing, 646 pages.
I didn't realize how short The Dead Poets Society is.
Yeah, it's a very little book.
So the average book length in 2024 was 455 pages for me.
For me, it was 401 pages.
And then my most shelved book, I think it's gonna be the same as Kennedy's, but it was Fourth Wing. I need to look up commas. 3,909,852 people also shelved this book. And then the least shelved book, and it makes sense, it's The Fake Mate, and it's been shelved by 179,467 people.
For me, like Liz said, yes, my most shelved was Fourth Wing, and my least shelved was Blindside, which I'm surprised because, like I said for my review, I really liked it. But it was the least shelved with, hold on, numbers are hard, you guys. 100,000. Wait, no, oh god, 183,906 people also shelved this book, and I think it should be more in 2025.
Looks like that book's gonna make it on my TBR. So my average rating for 2024, and I feel like this just really puts into perspective my reading year, was 3.8 stars.
Yep, same as Liz. Well, not the exact same, but my average rating was 3.2, so pretty low. I felt like we were probably both reading a bunch of like mid books, which didn't help our slump at all.
Anything, that's what put us in the slump. I feel like need to read Emily Henry's new book and then just read all her other ones to get out of it. But my highest rated book on Goodreads was Crooked Kingdom, and it has a 4.58 average rating.
My highest rated on Goodreads was Fourth Wing, and it has a 4.69 average.
And then my first review of the year was Fourth Wing, which I gave a 5 out of 5, as you guys know. And I'll read you guys my little, my little review. Side note, I feel like you can tell in my Goodreads when I entered my slump, when I just stopped giving books reviews. But my Fourth Wing review is, only way to put it, masterpiece. I would sell my soul to reread this book for the first time. It surpassed every expectation I had. I simply have no words to describe this book. I fell in love with the characters, Xaden, Violet, Liam, etc., the dragons, and the plot. I never expected the ending to unfold in the way it did. Simply speechless.
For me, my first review of the year was, The Virgin Suicides. I actually didn't give it a rating, but I'll read my review. I said, first read of 2024 done. I honestly don't know what to think about this book. The last 20% was definitely shocking. These poor girls were failed by everyone in their lives, and it was disgusting how the boys in the town looked at them, even though they were struggling, which I assume is the point. It's hard to say if I liked it or not. I liked it enough to finish it. The writing flowed, and he had a way of captivating my attention, but at the same time, I was disturbed at some of the things I read, and honestly got confused at some points.
And my last review of the year was, this book is just gonna haunt me this year, The Fake Mate. And I gave it 2.5 to 3 stars, and then in parentheses put IDK.
Liz is literally gonna be thinking about The Fake Mate on her deathbed.
I thought I had finally escaped it, and then we did this.
It be like that sometimes. My last review of the year was for the Happy Ever After playlist, which I gave 4 out of 5, and I said this book is so Wattpad coded. Because it was about like this girl basically meeting like her celebrity like crush, essentially.
We love a good Wattpad coded book. And then just like a little summary, I read 12 out of 25 books, which is 48% of my goal, and it says there are still 15 days left. You can do it. And to that I have to say, I don't know if I can read 15 books before the end of the year, but maybe I'll finish the one I'm currently on.
So my little summary, I read 18 out of 50 books, which was 36% of the challenge. And it says there are still 15 days left. You can do it, and good read. I can't do it. I cannot. Maybe next year will be our year, but we're just gonna take this L and move on.
Exactly. You win some, you lose some.
So we have now reached the end of today's episode. It felt good to do another book episode again. Getting back to our roots. Hopefully our reading is way better for 2025. I'm putting it out there. We're manifesting. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Feel free to check out our Goodreads, which will be linked down below. And here's to hopefully getting out of reading slumps. And we will see you on Christmas, actually. So, after you finish opening your presents, listen, watch us, the vibes. And with that being said, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.